Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are LA.
Aloha as we kick off Hawaiian Week. The Angels kicking off the homestand with a 4-game sweep of the Boston Red Sox. And that homestand continues tonight as we welcome in from the American League Central. It's the Minnesota Twins in for 3. As we take a look at the standings in the American League West, the Angels with that 4-game sweep now, a 2-game lead over the Houston Astros, 9 over Texas, 10 over Oakland, and then Seattle at 10.5 back. As we welcome inside the Big A, and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Kubica. I'm Victor Rojas, and of course we've got these Hawaiian ties, courtesy of Hawaiian Ties. We'd like to say thanks to Rita for donating these ties, not only to us, but also to Fish, and of course Patrick O'Neill and Alex Curry. Alex got a scarf, by the way.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we mentioned the Boston Red Sox were in town. The starting pitching was absolutely fantastic against the Red Sox, and that's why the Angels continue to roll.
Yeah, Victor, they set the tone. And take a look at our AT&T versus Rewind. They were absolutely dynamic against a team that was red hot going into the All-Star break. C.J. Wilson sets the tone, had a good fastball work in 8 shutout innings. And then you follow up with Garrett Richards with a complete game shutout 2-hitter. Hector Santiago with that electric fastball punched out 10 in 5 innings. Then Andrew Heaney finished it off with 7 very good innings himself. So great stuff. Did a tremendous job as far as getting ahead of the count, which is so important to be able to set up those secondary pitches.
And Mike Scioscia saying after the game that Andrew Heaney is going to stay in the rotation. That is the plan moving forward. Mentioned the Twins are in town for a 3-game set. Who are these Minnesota Twins? They weren't supposed to be this good this year.
Yeah, right now they're one of the wild card teams going into potentially into the postseason if the playoffs started right now. Minnesota does everything well. They pitch well. They defend well. Brian Dozier, the All-Stars, had a fantastic couple walk-off home runs. Then the first half, 20 home runs on the season. Kyle Gibson, who's pitching tonight, has thrown the ball fantastic his last 4 starts. ERA 1.30. And you got Glenn Perkins, who's been dynamic closing games, 28 saves in his 29 opportunities, ERA below 1.5. So he's been throwing good power lefty out of the bullpen. It's going to be a tough task against these Minnesota Twins because they do everything very well under Paul Molitor.
Mike Scioscia hands the ball off to Matt Shoemaker, basically says, no pressure, kid. Keep it rolling. That's it. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. We're going to bring you the lineups in the first pitch when we return.
Angels baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start to search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. By Jack in the Box. Get the new steak and egg breakfast burrito. It's not your basic breakfast burrito, and it's only at Jack in the Box. By the new movie Southpaw, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, in theaters everywhere Friday. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. It continues to be hot and muggy here in Southern California. Had some rain inland a little bit here. Temperature at 77 degrees, humidity at 61%. Since it is Hawaiian week here at the Big A, let's take a look at the weather in Honolulu. 82 degrees, 70% humidity, and some showers, Gooby.
Yeah, that's a little warm. That's a little toasty. Get a little sweat go there.
Aloha. There are the hats that were given away today. And, we will continue the Hawaiian theme throughout the week here. Perhaps even grass curtains. I don't know. That's what Gooby said. We may do it. We'll have to wait and see. Let's take a look at the Twins starting lineup as presented by their Hall of Fame manager Paul Molitor. 50-42 on the season. 5.5 back of the Kansas City Royals in the American League Central. Brian Dozier leading things off. He's at second base. Torrey Hunter at right. That is Joe Mauer at first base. Trevor Plouffe at third base. Eddie Rosario is the left fielder. Eduardo Nunez the DH. And Aaron Hicks in center field. Kurt Suzuki is doing the catching. And Eduardo Escobar batting ninth and playing shortstop. They're taking on Matt Shoemaker. Shoe pitching in his 18th game. This is his 17th start of the season. 4-7. A 4.85 earned run average. And the story, of course, this year for Shoemaker, of course, has been he has been prone to the long ball.
Yeah, and trying to keep the ball in the ballpark. That's the key. And he's trying to get his first win at home. 0-6 at home this season for Shoemaker. My go-tos. Look at the percentages of balls put in play this season. A little over 71% last season, 66.5%. So the big thing for him is establish that fastball downstairs and finish off with a splitter below the knees at that point and get some swing and misses for Matt Shoemaker tonight.
Check out the Angels. Sorry, Gooby. Defensively here. No Mike Trout in the lineup dealing with that heel little tweak injury that he suffered yesterday, but he should be fine going forward. It's Joyce Robertson and Calhoun in the outfield. David Freese, Eric Ibar, Johnny Giovattelli, C.J. Crone in the infield from third to first. Chris Sinetta is doing the catching.
And the leader of the defense here tonight, no question, is Eric Ibar, playing his 1,068th game as a member of the Angels. Very solid defensively. He's committed 9 errors, turned 35 double plays for the former Gold Glove winner. Gary DiSarcina just ahead of him, 1 game ahead of him. 2 very good shortstops that played the game the way the game is supposed to be played.
Twins interesting in that I mentioned the overall record, 8 games over 500. They are very good at home, 31-16 at home, Target Field. Just 19-26 out on the road. And the first one is in for a strike. Angels' first pitch is delivered by the UPS Store. And it's not just the record, too. It's the splits on the offensive side that are somewhat daunting. Just kind of like the Red Sox were over the weekend as Dozier cuts through this one. It's an 0-2 count. Minnesota's a team who's hit 252. At home, they're 279 hitting ball club, just 226 away from Target Field.
Target Field is certainly not a home run hitting ballpark. Big gaps, though.
Yeah. Gorgeous ballpark, too. Halos will play a series. I think it's a 4-game series in September. That ballpark. 0-2. Dozier fouls it back. All-star second baseman hitting 260. He has 20 home runs on the year. 51 runs batted in. Career high in home runs and RBIs last year with 23 and 71 respectively. That was just off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Shoemaker, 91 innings, 97 hits allowed. 74 strikeouts, the walks. Has 21 of them. Didn't miss by much, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last outing for Shoemaker was in Seattle, and that was as a reliever on the 12th. 1 inning, gave up a home run, 1 strikeout. Breaking ball, that was pulled foul. Halos play shift on Dozier at the plate. '93rd game of the year for both ball clubs.
See that shift on with Dozier. Trying to pull that splitter.
And down he goes. He chased a pitch out of the zone, and there's the first down.
Hyundai key for this game for the Halos to be successful. A little Rolling Stones. Emotional rescue, especially after a 4-game sweep of the Red Sox, a doubleheader sweep. big important for not only the pitching staff, the defense, somebody with the bat just to come through, because it's going to be a difficult one against the Twins. Is Torrey Hunter. And a big standing ovation here as he steps to the plate. One of the big reasons why the Minnesota Twins have played well. So it's one of those games you have to play everything well now, especially not having Trout in your lineup.
Torrey just turned 40 a couple of days ago. 256, 14 home runs, and 49 runs batted in. Spending the last couple of seasons with the Tigers. A little bit tardy on that fastball. It's accounted 1-1, but still very much beloved here in Southern California. 5 seasons with the Angels. And still holding court before the game.
No doubt. Still extremely popular.
Very good year with the Tigers last year. Hit 286. 17 home runs, and he skies one down the line. It's playable for Matt Joyce as he drifts over. 2 outs.
One thing about that smile with Torrey, he always had that smile, but don't let it fool you. He's extremely competitive.
Two quick outs, and Joe Mauer coming up. Mauer now 32. 275 with 6 home runs and 43 RBIs. This Twins team is 8th in batting average, 12th in home runs, 8th in runs scored, 9th in slugging, 12th in on base percentage. It's almost as if they, the way they came out of the chute, especially in the month of April, it was kind of a slow start for them. And they turned on in May. They went 20-7 in the month of May. Took on the personality of their skipper.
He's a guy that's always preached using that middle of the field, their swings, making contact, avoiding strikeouts, make the defense make a play behind you.
5.5 back at the start of the day. Kansas City Royals leading the Central. Royals and the Pirates scoreless at Kauffman. 2-1 pitch is cut on. There's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good on speed pitch. Shoemaker trying for that 1-2-3 inning to start the ball game. Missed long. Full count. Trevor Plouffe on deck. Joe West, by the way, calling the balls and strikes. He's the crew chief. Kerwin Danley at first. Rob Drake, the ravishing one, at second. And on the 1s and 2s, it's DJ Rayburn at third base. He's on the wheels of steel.
Yes, indeed. Solid crew here. Some good nicknames for this crew, too.
Been waiting for the crew all season.
Oh, yes.
We just had Bach and Bob here. Another payoff pitch, and that is down low. So a 2-out walk. They put a man on for Trevor Plouffe.
The thing about Mauer, he's very patient at the plate. Very rarely do you see him swing at the first pitch. Between him and Mike Trout, both of them, very patient on that first pitch.
Plouffe, the third baseman, 259 batting average. Looks at a strike. 12 home runs and 50 RBIs for the pride of Crespi Carmelite.
My neighbor, he had that nice, enjoyable drive down today, too.
Yeah. What do you have to avoid on the way back? The 210?
Yes, exactly. Anywhere near the Rose Bowl.
Down low, and Idetta tried to backhand that. So the wild pitch will advance Mauer to second. Turned by Mauer, but he'll hold there.
Overthrown fastball in the dirt. Still, you try to square that glove around, square the shoulders up, and try to keep that in front if you can. We're throwing fastball from Shoemaker.
Two-man in scoring position in a 1-ball, 1-strike count for Plouffe. There's 23 doubles on the year and 3 triples. Two balls, 1 strike. Last start that Shoemaker had was at Colorado. He pitched well on that one. Matter of fact, he had 3 pretty good starts. Nothing to show for it, though. Seattle, the Yankees, and then at Denver. 0-2 in that stretch. Allowing just 2 runs each of those starts. This one's lifted out toward right center field. Cole drifting to his right is there. That's the 3rd out of the 1st. We'll head to the bottom of the 1st inning. Giavotella, Calhoun, and Pujols coming up for the Angels in a scoreless tie. Starting lineup for the Halos at 52-40 on the season. Johnny Giavotella leading things off at second. Cole Calhoun in right. No Mike Trout, so Albert jumps into the 3 spot. He's the DH. Eric Ibar short. David Freese at third. C.J. Crone at first. Matt Joyce at left. Chris Sinetta doing the catching, and Daniel Robertson batting ninth and patrolling center field. They are taking on the 27-year-old right-hander native of Greenfield, Indiana. His name is Kyle Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson's got a good fastball, 90-95. Slider, curve, very good. Changeup. My go-tos against Gibson to be successful is use the middle of the field. He's a guy that likes to pitch away, down and away, and get yourself into fastball counts. Very difficult to deal with his slider and changeup when he's ahead of the count.
He's having a fantastic season. 19th start of the year, 8-6, a 2.85 ERA. He's good for 9th. The American League as far as earned run average. Giavotella takes ball 1.
And you're going to see that a lot. Fastballs try to hit the knees on the outside corner against right-handed batters throughout this game.
Gibson, a tall drink of water at 6'6". Grew up in Indiana, went to the University of Missouri. Some would say Missouri.
I was waiting for you to say that.
It's 2 balls and a strike. Mizzou either way. Teammates with Eric Crow, by the way, on that staff in 2008.
That's a pretty good staff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hurt hands, even with aluminum bats.
2-1 pitch. Chopper towards short. Escobar has it. Giavotella retired for the first down. Let's check out the Twins defensively tonight. Rosario, Hicks, and Hunter in the outfield from left to right. It's Plouffe, Escobar, Dozier, and Maurer from third to first. Kurt Suzuki behind the plate.
And Dozier's done a fantastic job, not only with the bat, but also with the glove. Second as far as fielding percentage amongst second basemen at .991. A former shortstop. You can tell by that good range and very, very quick as far as turning double plays.
Cole takes outside. Calhoun hitting .272 with 13 home runs and 51 runs batted. Another 1-for-4 game in game 2 last night. Was on board 4 times in game 1 with 2 walks, home run and a single. Hughes out with foul. Go back and take a look at that home run from game 1.
Very similar to what we saw throughout the series on pitches. Fastball counts for Cole. Crushing the ball to right center field. Great leverage using the back leg to generate that power and to barrel through the zone with great connection.
A 2-ball, 1-strike count. Caught the inside corner. Pretty good ride over the top. There's Mike Trout. Day off. Resting that heel. 2-2 now. It's down and in. Full boat. Pujols on deck.
He'll try that 2-seam fastball now after that little slider in. He'll try to run it away or try to throw that on the inside part of the plate.
Jammed him. This popped up. Plouffe into foul territory. Might have room and almost gets it. I think his body hit that railing and it kind of jarred his glove.
And he was tracking that well. Trying to put his hand up just to feel where that fence is. In the last second, with his hip on the fence, unable to catch it. Would have been an extremely tough play.
Another 3-2. This is bouncer over to the right side. Dozier has it. 2 outs. Albert stepping up now.
Boy, did Albert have himself a fantastic game. Game 1, home run. Game 2, tying Mike Schmidt on the all-time home run list. And then he said, all right, Mike Schmidt, I'm passing you by with 2 home runs in game 2. First time in his career he's homered in both games of a doubleheader.
Batting the 3 spot with Trout out of the lineup. Serving as a DH. Originally, the lineup had both Trout and Pujols out of the lineup today. Albert saw the lineup, saw that Trout was not going to play, and basically talked himself into the lineup. It's a strike. It's 1-1.
That's the one thing about Pujols. It is extremely difficult to get him out of that lineup.
Pretty much the number 3 hitter since he signed with the Angels, but it was June 16th with Mike Scioscia needing some offense, kind of changed things around. This is a bounce to the left side. Plouffe with a diving stop it from his knees, flips it over to Mauer. And the Angels go down in order. We'll head to the second with no score.
Check out the big news from around the majors on the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. Big battle in the East, AL East. And also, the Angels' rivals down in Houston taking on the Red Sox.
Full slate of Major League games tonight. Get you updated on the scores throughout Major League Baseball throughout the night. Eddie Rosario, the left fielder, leading things off. He will look at a strike. Rosario, 277 batting average, 4 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Native of Puerto Rico. 4th round pick in 2010. Just 23 years of age. Any Hawaiian treats on that table, you think?
Sure hope so.
Just foul back, 1-2. Shoemaker, by the way, still looking for his first victory at home this year. 0-6. 8 starts with a 4.60 ERA, although from an earned run average standpoint, he's pitched better at home than has out on the road. Swing and a miss, down goes Rosario. And there's the first down. Second strikeout for Shoemaker.
2 really good split finger fastballs so far in the game for Shoe. And that bottom drops out right as the baseball's crossing the plate. Perfect pitch for Shoemaker.
Nunez, a DH, now up. Second season with Minnesota, originally with the Yankees. Up in a trade, he will look at his strike. 287 batting average for Nunez. 39th game for him. One ball, one strike. Nice crowd here on this Tuesday night. Hawaiian hat giveaway. The rally monkey coming up too, right?
Yes, indeed.
Chop it toward third. Freeze goes to the backhand. 2 outs. Oh no, the ball went out of the glove. They're calling him out.
And they're calling him out.
Yeah. First base umpire Kerwin Danley saying he's out. Paul Molitor wants an explanation here.
The only thing it could be is if he's inside the line when the contact was made.
And I think that's the explanation. Or Kerwin is saying you got to go talk to Joe West.
And Freeze was able to gather himself, got a lot on the throw over the first, and Crone's got to reach. It's a tough call. I think there is going to be a conversation here. Look at a better angle here. Well, he's inside the baseline. Yeah. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. He's going to be out. He took that path where he's the last couple steps. He was 2-3 feet inside the line here, as you can see.
Dangerous play for a first baseman. Just ask Albert on that. Cliff Floyd, too, suffered a horrific injury, if I remember correctly, when he was a member of the Montreal Expos. Similar type play. So the crew chief, Joe West, gives Paul Molitor the explanation. So 2 outs. A lot of times you'll see first basemen come off the bag to try to avoid that type of collision so that the wrist doesn't get bent back.
At least avoid most of the major contact with that, because when you're reaching out with the runner coming down, your arm is completely vulnerable at that point. So what happened to Albert?
This one fouled back. An injury for Albert was 2011 with Wilson Bettman.
One ball, one strike here on Aaron Hicks. Woodrow Wilson High School. Top is foul, 1-2. Good speed.
Yeah, I got to talk to him today a little bit. I know he's a great golfer. He said a bunch of the guys played down at Pelican yesterday. He said he shot an 81. I looked at him and said, whoa. You're supposed to be a scratch golfer. I said, what are you trying to do? Get some extra strokes here and some swings? No way. 81, you? No. He said, I didn't putt real well. I said, oh, okay. He is a tremendous golfer.
And he goes down swinging into the 1-2-3 inning for Matt Shoemaker. We will head to the bottom of the second. Ibar freezing Crone. Coming up for the Angels. We're still scoreless. Fan, you just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. No scores. We start at the bottom of the second here at the Big A. The first of a three-game set against the visiting Minnesota Twins. Guy Barr hitting .288. Lead off the second. A couple of home runs, 30 runs batted in for Eric. 1-2-3 inning for Gibson in the first. 3 ground ball outs. Eric shoots one out to left field. It's a leadoff single. It's kind of what he's been doing of late.
And now it's time for Tools of the Trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks. We talked about it yesterday. The comparison of Bo Jackson and David Freese on a home run to center on the left. 1989 All-Star game. Rick Russell against Bo Jackson, dead center field. Lead off the All-Star game, 450-foot shot. And then you see David Freese to the right, 451-foot shot. Had a nice long conversation with David Freese about that today. He goes, get out of here, Bo's was way further. That it must have been cold. I said, well, it was the All-Star game. I'm pretty sure it wasn't cold here in Anaheim. Yeah. And he was pretty excited, the comparison between him and Bo Jackson. I said, you had some good sound off the bat, too. And he started laughing, walked away, went right back to the cages and see if he can do it again tonight.
Did not play in game 2 last night. 240 average on the year. Foul tips that one into the glove. No balls, 2 strikes.
Good lead for Ibar at first. Freeze strikes out for the first out here in the second.
That good changeup. Not trying to get into good fastball counts. Gibson paints the fastball well, but also backs up with a good changeup. Does have 2 pickoffs this year. He's allowed 7 stolen bases in 11 attempts. Kurt Suzuki's only thrown out 14.7% of would-be base stealers, so you might see the Angels more active tonight.
Cron looks at a strike. CJ getting to start at first base tonight with Albert serving as a DH, a .260 average. 5 home runs and 18 runs batted in. Cron had game 2 off yesterday. Was at first base in game 1. Went 0 for 3 with a walk. Ibar over at first with the leadoff single. Cron bounces this one foul. Gibson making his 4th start of his brief big league career against the Angels. The Angels have terrific numbers against him through the first 3. 0-1 with a 7.80, 15 innings, 16 hits allowed, 13 runs. Made 2 starts against the Angels last year. Ground ball to the right side. That'll sneak through. Ibar, a little bit of a hop. Will go to third base, and the Angels have runners at the corners with 1 out and Joyce coming up.
And that's exactly what you have to do. Not exactly crushed by Cron, but going the other way. Gibson throws a lot of pitches on the outer part of the plate. It's going to force you to use the big part of the field. If you try to pull the baseball, there's going to be a lot of ground ball action at short and second base throughout this game. Read by Ibar. Gets around the base, stumbles just a little bit, gets out of the way of the baseball first and foremost. He knows that Torrey Hunter is going to charge that ball well. He had a good jump when he got around second base, slides in easily. Third base on a single from C.J. Cron.
So Matt Joyce up, left fielder, 185 average with 5 home runs and 20 runs batted in. Joyce went 0 for 3 last night in game 2. He was also hit by a pitch. First one was down and in. Gets away from Suzuki, but not far enough for Cron to advance. 2 balls, no strikes.
Good hitters count now for Joyce. Talking about getting those fastball counts. Should get one here.
Got an off-speed pitch.
That's a good changeup in a fastball count from Gibson. Matt Joyce looking fastball.
Difference maker for Kyle Gibson. Not giving in. Going to a changeup. Cron takes off and Joyce fouls it off. Here in the early going, Gibson just continues to pound the inside part of the plate to lefties, trying to neutralize them.
I would think after that fastball he might come back to his changeup. 7-8 strikeouts in 113 2/3 innings pitched coming into this game. Has 1 punch out tonight. That was on an all-speed pitch.
Yeah, he's kept lefties in check this year to 228 batting average. Righties have hit 253 against him. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. And he went around with the breaking ball. 2 outs. Matt Joyce's struggles continue. And we'll be up to Chris Iannetto. Chris hitting 191, also with 5 home runs and 20 RBIs. Caught game 1. 1 for 3 with a single, an RBI, and a walk. Ibar at third, Cron at first. Couple of singles for the Angels, putting runners at the corners. 2 outs now. Fastball for a strike. At the outside corner. Looked like, just from body language, that Chris thought so. Joe West ringing it up. Bouncer foul. Done a nice job to 8 batters we've seen working in on both sides of the plate.
And he doesn't give in a lot, especially even against Matt Joyce, even though first base at that point is occupied by C.J. Cron. Second base was not, so he wasn't going to give in. A nice slider down and in, threw a 2-0 changeup to him. A lot of confidence in all his pitches, throwing for strikes.
Eric led off the inning with a base hit to left, and after a strike at a freeze, Cron moved into third with a base hit to right. Now the 2-2. Cron takes off. Neither fouls it off.
See the sink on that fastball. That's why you see some swings of his changeup that are out of the strike zone, because his fastball is downstairs most of the time.
13-12 a season ago. Continuing to get back into the rotation. Cron doesn't go this time. That was way outside. Full count.
And that slider almost got by Coach Suzuki.
Cron will be on the move here. Mauer plays behind him. Here's the payoff. And that is lined to center. The Angels will take a 1-0 lead. Cron trying to go to third. The throw from Hicks is not in time. Boy, it looked like the throw beat him there.
Well, Hicks has a very good throwing arm. He's got 6 outfield assists already this year with no errors.
I thought it was a gamble on the part of C.J. Cron. Molitor was taking a look at it.
What a perfect throw he had, too. Baseball beat him. See if the foot got in. I think they're going to review it.
Yeah, looked like he got him. B.J. Rayburn with the call at third. And they are going to look at it.
I don't blame him. What a perfect throw from Aaron Hicks.
This will more than likely get overturned. Just based on what we've seen already.
There's some pretty good arms in the outfield here for the Twins.
Again, I'm not sure why you're going in that situation there. Maybe not.
Well, maybe he did get the foot in. That's really close.
The very first replay that we showed looked as if this one here looked like the glove got the foot. There, I mean,
it looked like he
got the foot.
Yes. in the glove, but kept sliding up to the ankle area, but it looked like it got the cleat first.
Iannetta gets an RBI, his 21st. Thankfully, Ibar hustling through to make sure that he crossed the plate before a tag was applied at third base.
And a good swing on a changeup there from Chris Iannetta. Kyle Gibson only throws 60% of his pitches, according to Fangraphs, with fastball, so he changes speed on 40% of his pitches, whether it's a slider, change, or curveball.
Joe West, the crew chief, DJ Rayburn, the third base umpire on the headsets. Looks like we're getting a call here. And he is out at third. So the call is overturned. The run counts. Chrome is the third out at third base. Somewhat taboo in baseball, right? Cardinals lead at 1-0 as we head to the third. Will receive a Hawaiian Rally Monkey courtesy of Longevity while supplies last. Purchase your tickets at the stadium box office, or you can purchase them online. Yeah. There's a good look at them.
Oh, yeah.
Get them while you can.
That view. They can't wait. Potentially come to the game tomorrow night to get that Hawaiian Rally Monkey. Also, got the cool hats going tonight.
Halos up 1-0 as we start the third. 8-9-1 for Minnesota. Kurt Suzuki will look at strike one. Twins catcher, now 31 years of age, 227. It's 3 home runs and 26 runs batted in. Born in Wailuku, Hawaii. That's at Maui. At the H.P. Baldwin High School there. Since this is the beginning of Hawaiian week. And of course went to Cal State Fullerton. This one's fouled back. One-two count.
340 career at-bats against the Angels. 226 career hitter.
Boatload of those as a member of the Oakland Athletics. .288 last year with Minnesota. 3-year deal prior to last year. Takes inside. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shoemaker with 3 strikeouts. 1 walk. Foul back. A nice catch by a fan using the old Hawaiian hat.
It's perfect timing,
right? Not only do you fit in,
it's durable too.
Right? You can use it as a glove, and then a little bit later on pick up the ladies. Oh, you never know. Check swing. They wanted to peel. It did not go. Full count. Eduardo Escobar on deck. That is outside, ball 4. Second walk issued by Shoemaker. This one a leadoff one to the 8th place hitter. Here's Escobar. Shortstop. After 22 pitches in the first, and much better in the second, just 11. .254 batting average for Escobar, native of Venezuela. Full season, pretty much a full season last year. Played 133 games for Minnesota. 275 last year, 35 doubles. Switching shortstop. Checking in on Suzuki. Twins don't run a whole lot. Suzuki doesn't even have a stolen base attempt this year.
Guess you're more apt to put a hit and run on, more so than a straight steal.
Twins 8th in the American League stolen bases. Halos bringing up the rear in that category. The ball would strike. The Angels have a total of 25 stolen bases this year.
Seems like it's been 25 for quite a while.
Yeah. I'd go through the trouble of looking it up. It's going to be 25 for a while, so I could probably get it to you at some point this week. That's all right.
I'm still looking.
Not going to change a whole lot.
June 30th.
It is. Trout.
Now I got to go back to my book again.
1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
See, that's why we keep the scoreboard. Exactly. Right? Keep it with us.
Every game with us. What'd you say, June 30th?
Yes.
That was the Yankees here. And Trout was caught stealing in that one. Gooby providing false information. 1-2. Ground ball foul.
I'm sorry, it was July 1st.
See, on June 30th, you could wait till July got here. That's what I remember.
Exactly. That's what it was. I'm still looking at my right here.
I don't have one on July 1st. Yeah, I do. It was Eric Ibar in the 9th inning.
Oh, yeah, there it is. I can't even. I should have been a doctor at one point or another. My writing.
That is a called strike 3. There's that 2-seamer front door. And Escobar certainly didn't like it. It's the first out here in the 3rd.
Second baseman, number 2,
2-seamer catching the top part of the strike zone at 91, according to our Fox tracks.
Some nasty movement right there.
That's the pitch he worked very well last year.
Top of the order now, Brian Dozier with Suzuki at first base. Dozier strikeout victim to start the game. This one foul back above us. Dozier, a native of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. The Southern Miss. 8th round pick in 2009.
Boy, was he excited about making that all-star team. A smile on his face.
One ball, one strike. Talented guy in high school. Baseball, football, golf, basketball. Good little play. There's the 1-1. Low, nice block by Idell. 48 pitches for Shoemaker to play here in the third. Angels getting a run in the second. A 2-out single by Chris Iannetta, bringing home Eric Ibar from third. Crone was thrown out at third base for the third out of that inning. So the Angels will have 9-1-2 coming up in the bottom of the frame. One.
Dangerous count against Dozier. He's a very good fastball hitter.
Three-one pitch, a big rip out, and it comes up empty. Full count.
Good off-speed pitch in that fastball count. A little slider. Torrey Hunter on deck. Dodgers grounded into 3 double plays this year.
Does Molitor start Suzuki?
I think he should. He likes to have that type of action.
Swing and a miss. Got him for the second time. 2 outs. Fans, this broadcast of Angels baseball is being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. We welcome you to our broadcast. As always, we thank you for your continued service to our country. Torrey once again with a nice round of applause, steps up with 2 outs. Suzuki at first base. Hunter 0 for 1 with a fly ball to left. It was a towering pop-up to Matt Joyce. It's another towering pop-up right up the elevator shaft. Eric Ibar puts it away, and the Twins are done here in the third. 9-1-2 coming up for the Angels, leading it 1-0.
it's time for In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia. Socia's Club against the Boston Red Sox in a 4-game sweep at home. 22 runs scored. The Angels with more home runs than the Red Sox scored runs. Starters ERA 0.93. Just 4 runs allowed in the series for the staff. Excellent job for the Halos. First sweep. The Red Sox here at home. The Red Sox, when you think about it, 4 runs scored since 1965. It's the least amount of runs since 1965 in a 4-game sweep for the Red Sox. Usually a team known to swing the bats.
Robertson with a base hit back up the middle. Second straight inning in which the Angels have had their leadoff man reach. That's 4 hits allowed by Kyle Gibson, all 4 singles.
That's what you have to do against him. Just make many mistakes upstairs. Fastball a little bit up elevated, but you got to use the middle of the field against him. He's allowed 11 home runs coming into this game. 113 2/3 innings pitched.
Quick throw to first. Robertson back safely. Plouffe playing in on the grass at third base. Johnny, ground ball to short in the first. That's the strike. Patel, a long glance to DeSarcina. Torrey very shallow and right. Rosario shallow and left. Trying to punch at that baseball. Fouls it off. It's an 0-2 count.
Try to play catch with that bat when you're sprinting around the bunt. Unless you use an all-speed pitch, easier to get that bunt down.
6 sacrifices this year for Giavatello. In the hole now at 0-2. Does not miss very often upstairs, does he?
Fastball in, fastball down.
Leverages that height too. Good downhill plane.
Exactly. More of a straight over the top. It creates some great sink. Pronating his wrist to be able to work that pitch downstairs.
Robertson looked like he was leaning a little bit there. Gets back. Big lead for Robertson at first. 1-2, bounce foul.
Good slide step too for Gibson. A tall pitcher, but still pretty quick to the plate.
You get a pretty good indication early on. You look at the numbers overall and you say, wow, get good numbers in your career against this young man. Just 3 starts, small sample, but overall the numbers are pretty daunting. And all of a sudden you come out here in the first couple of innings, you see what he's featuring. Game plan tends to change a little bit on the offensive side. Just kind of trying to bunch a bunch of hits together. This isn't going to be one of those where you're hitting a lot of home runs, a lot of doubles, like perhaps you have had in the last 3 games.
And that's why you've seen some movement put already in action for Mike Scioscia in this game, because he knows it's difficult to drive some of these low sinking pitches, whether it's his fastball or changeup, out of the ballpark. So you're more apt to try to bunch hits together and have guys move and score that way.
Calhoun on deck, the 2-2 down. It's a ground ball to the right side. That's a base hit. Torrey was playing so shallow, Robertson's not going to be able to advance. So the first two have reached here against Gibson. That's 5 singles now. And Calhoun coming up.
Look at the majority of the hits to be either going the other way or up the middle against him so far. Eric Ibar the other way. Iannetta up the middle. C.J. Cron the other way. Robertson up the middle. Then that base hit there the other way.
Calhoun grounded out to second in the first inning.
When you're sitting at home, you're thinking, okay, it's first and second, no outs. Cole Calhoun at the plate. You think maybe square around a bunt, but no. He's done a great job with runners in scoring position. Pujols would come up. More likely, Paul Molitor would elect to walk him. And then all of a sudden you're forced to base loaded situation. Eric Ibar has to drive in the runs instead of letting Albert Pujols drive in the runs.
Advantage Calhoun here, 2-0.
And another one of those fastball counts. And we've seen him throw off speed. He might get a fastball here with Pujols on deck, though.
He went with the off-speed pitch. It's 2-1.
Well, the old days, especially in the National League, those 1-0, 2-0 counts, fastball. The American League, with the DH, at that point, it's a lot more smaller ballparks, more apt to throw a changeup or a slider in fastball counts. You're seeing it in both leagues now.
Cole pulls the foul. Evens a count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think it's good. I think it shows really it's more of pitchability. And you really get kids to trust on that changeup, on the off-speed pitch.
That's exactly the pitch you should teach a kid playing Little League all the way through playing baseball. Besides the fastball, changeup. Always work on your changeup. You get back into counts quickly with that pitch.
And he got another changeup there. He rolls a foul.
Because if you have a good changeup, the rotation, the same arm angle as your fastball, so many times hitters are thinking and gearing up for fastball, reading fastball, then differential about 7-8 miles an hour on the pitch gets them out in front and off the end of the bat.
2-2 again. Trying to get sound of that fastball, missed in off the plate, full count. Albert on deck. A 1-0 Angels lead here in the third. Iannetta giving the Angels that lead in the second inning with a base hit to center. Robertson at second and Giavotella at first. And he walks it. So they'll load it up. First free pass issued by Gibson. Nobody out and Albert up.
The pitching coach going to quickly go out and talk. Kyle Gibson. Solid big league pitcher himself.
Got a few new members to this coaching staff with Molitor taking over. Time skipper Ron Gardenhire.
Old teammates in Kansas City. Butch Davis, first base coach.
Yep.
From Halo. Eddie Bernansky still around.
Eddie Guardano's the bullpen coach. Everyday Eddie.
Yes, indeed.
Gene Glenn.
Local boy.
He was a Tustin, doesn't he?
He was a big bowling event every winter. Charity bowling event.
Robertson at third, Giavitello at second, Calhoun at first. Nobody out, a 1-0 lead in the third. Albert grounded out to Blue for the first inning.
First pitch changeup. Albert looked like he was gearing up for a fastball. He's been pretty patient on the first pitch, but he looked like he was ready to jump on a fastball.
Albert 3 for 9 this year with the bases loaded. 1 grand slam. Pulls out and foul. Got the fastball.
Had some serious sink to it at 94.
Two singles and a walk to load him up. One pitch. Pulled foul. Staying inside with the hard stuff. It's in off the plate. No Trout in the lineup today. A sore heel keeping him out. Pujols originally not scheduled to start either, but talked his way in. DH tonight, thrown at first base. .549 career home runs for Albert. 15th all-time by himself. And he chases the breaking ball. 1 out. Third strikeout for Gibson.
Take a look at our pitch by pitch by Gibson against Albert. Start him off with a changeup. And that little two-seam fastball, followed by another fastball inside and a nasty slider away. The reason why you get a swing like that is because he threw 2 good fastballs inside and made Albert aware of that pitch. Then the hard slider away.
And the strikeouts have not been commonplace for Albert. You go back to his Player of the Month award in June. Just 8 strikeouts in 114 plate appearances. 7 in the month of July. Ibar takes low. He led off the second with a base hit to left field. He scored the only run of this game. Infield is at least the middle infield playing halfway. Maurer in at first base. Blue just behind the bag at third.
Gibson has faced 13 batters so far in this game. There's 3 first pitch strikes. He's done a lot of changeups first pitch.
There's another one here, and it's a broken bat foul. And I guess you can look at the game too, because the Twins had the off day yesterday. Saw what the Angels were doing offensively pretty much from Saturday on. Prior to the bats were quiet until Trout hit the walk-off. And say, you know what, maybe I'll change my game plan a little bit. The way these Angels have been swinging the bats, maybe throw a little more off-speed stuff.
They scored about 7 runs in about 5 minutes yesterday. They were swinging early at fastballs.
Yeah. One ball, one strike with 1 out. Bases loaded. Inside. Oh, that ball didn't hit him. Way in off the plate.
And he's shown that he will throw a changeup in these fastball counts. See if he comes back with another all-speed pitch.
Hicks playing a little deeper in center, but the corner outfielder's playing shallow. A little flare out to left center field. Rosario, the left fielder, is there. He'll make the catch. Robertson's coming home. The throw is cut off, and the Angels will score a run. Giavitello draws the cutoff. He gets tagged at second. That's the 3rd out. So the Angels do get the run in. It goes to the sac fly for Ibar. 3 complete, 2-0 Halos.
USA continue their quest for a second consecutive Gold Cup title against Jamaica. Coverage of the CONCACAF Gold Cup sponsored by Chevrolet begins at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
He would have had a hat trick the other day.
Yep, the beat down of Cuba. Now Plouffe and Rosario here in the fourth.
Aggressive base running there by Robertson to score. And a shallow fly ball by Eric Ibar. Said you're going to have to try to create runs tonight against Gibson. Doesn't give up many home runs, and you don't have Mike Trout in the lineup either.
Maurer looks at his strike. You're hoping for more than one run with the bases loaded, nobody out. But you double up on the score, lead it 2-0 here in the fourth. Maurer drew a walk in the first, one of 2 free passes issued by Shoemaker. He pulls this one foul.
Nice play by Butch Davis.
Quick hands.
Yes, indeed.
Shoemaker with 5 strikeouts. First 3 innings. Swing and a miss, make that 6 strikeouts. Mauer's the first out.
Take a look at that play, Victor, at the end of this last half inning. A shallow fly ball by Eric Ibar. Rosario has a good arm, but that throw is going up the line, cut off by Plouffe. Gets in a rundown and gets Giabatella. A lot of times you'll see it as an infielder, you're trying to draw that throw, but you're already in scoring position. You can see that throw because it's a tough play as an outfielder when you charge a ball to get your feet underneath you to make a good throw.
Cole racing toward the foul line. This will be in play, and it's a foul ball, but caught. Ground number 2. I agree with you. I think the point in that situation with Robertson trying to score there, that play is in front of you. You can see what's going on. You can see the movement of the cutoff man, in this case, Trevor Plouffe, the third baseman. The minute he starts moving to his left, you slam on the brakes and you go back to second base. You don't have to go.
It's a difficult throw because all that movement and how much ground you have to cover, and you're on the move and you're not quite underneath your throw. And you see as that throw was coming up the third baseline.
I don't think it's automatic.
No, especially when you want to give Freese an opportunity to swing with first and second. Certain parts of the lineup, when you want to make sure that run scores.
Right.
But when you have Freese coming up, and you see the throw is going to be wide, you got to stick right at second base. You've gotten the cutoff man to think about cutting it off and looking at you at that point, but the runner's going to be safe at home.
0-2 to Rosario. It's a swing and a miss. Matt Shoemaker with a quick 1-2-3 shutdown inning. Strikeout complete. Well, to the bottom of the fourth inning with the Angels leading at 2-0.
4 innings. The Angels leading by the score of 2-0 as we walk beside our broadcast booth. And aloha as we kick off Hawaiian week here. And again, that's great. We're trying to do our best here. Both starting pitchers have done a nice job so far. Really mentioned 7 strikeouts for Shoemaker. Kyle Gibson's been sharp as well. Worked out of a base load situation. You limit the damage in those situations.
Exactly. That split finger fastball for Matt Shoemaker has been outstanding. When we talk about that pronating of the fastball for Gibson, most times a two-seamer like that, but he's turning his wrist this way to create that sink action on his fastball, and it was very good against Albert Pujols to limit, like you said, Victor, the damage. It's good movement and good changeup he's had so far.
Next visit to the broadcast booth might have a coconut top and grass skirts.
Oh, yeah. You'd never know.
That's what I'm hearing. Freeze, Crone, and Joyce here in the 4th.
Just saying.
Just saying. David went around. And it's an 0-2 count. Freeze, a strikeout victim in the second. 3 punch outs for Gibson. 1 walk and 5 singles allowed. There's the line for Shoe. 59 pitches and a quick 4th inning. Freeze is out for the first out. Second time that Gibson has got him. David hasn't looked comfortable in either plate appearance against Gibson.
He's chasing pitches. He has his mindset on thinking off speed. He's had a tough time dealing with those pitches so far. And the success against Gibson tonight by the hitters has been using the middle of the field and going the other way.
Yeah. This one's pulled to third, and Plouffe can't handle it. It goes by him in the left. That's one of those perhaps big swing, get fooled at the hot corner. I think that ball's coming at you a little bit quicker.
Just more of a top hand swing. That one hop. Try to get, it's difficult to get in front of that baseball, but trying to get that glove out in front and a tough hop, it gets by Plouffe at third base.
That's a base hit for Crone. Is that a base hit back in your day?
No.
Scoring has changed, hasn't it?
Just because it's difficult for the scorekeepers, because when you field to the side, it's difficult to give the fielder an error. So in their defense, it's very difficult to make those calls. But Plouffe, I remember him in high school. He was a very talented shortstop who could pitch very well. Great arm. Mid-90s, nasty slider. Settle in at third base now.
All right, you're dancing around the issue here. As a former player, do you think that play should be made?
I said all along, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So technically,
yes.
You're saying it should be an error.
Yeah, I mean, you could still get your body in front of it, keep that ball in front of it.
I agree with you. I think today's game has changed quite a bit because of guys going into the slide on the infield or going to that side fielding motion to avoid getting an error. And it happens more times than not. They do avoid it.
And my point, basically, it's hard for the scorekeepers to give a fielder an error when it's fielding to the side.
And the flip side of that is that let's assume they do give Trevor Plouffe an error on that play. Well, then the Twins or Plouffe can certainly send it up to Major League Baseball to have it reviewed. We've seen quite a few times where we get the message the next day or 2 days later that a certain play has been overturned. I think it'd be good. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ed Munson is our official scorer here tonight. I think they do bring the official scores together. At one point, they talk to them.
Yes.
I think it'd be great to do something with players and official scores so that everyone kind of gets on the same page. As Joyce tops this one foul, kind of show them some plays. How would you score this as a player, as a coach, as an official scorer, and then kind of come to some sort of consensus.
I'm trying to think. There was a game just the other day where John Lester was pitching. It was a play not made by Chris Bryant. I think it was even in the first inning on a backhand play. Initially given a hit, and then all of a sudden, I think it was like the 4th or 5th inning, was ruled an error because he had a no-hitter going at that point.
2-2. Joyce lifts one down the left field line, slicing away from Rosario and headed to the seats. Two balls, 2 strikes. Joyce a strikeout victim in the second. Joyce for 1. 4 punch outs for Gibson, 1 walk. Now 6 singles allowed by Gibson. Crone standing at first. I like the transformation this young man has made.
No question.
Joyce goes down for the second time. Two outs.
See how he turns that over. You see how the wrist turns it over to create that downward action on his changeup and his fastball. So two pitches you have to deal with as a hitter. Both coming in that same slot, going down and away. One's at 85, the other's at 94. But turning that pitch over creates that downward action.
Ivanetta picked up an RBI with a base hit in the second inning. Scored Eric Ibar.
Before I talk about speed differential for Gibson, that's fastball. He's been at 94. Slowest off-speed pitch, 81.
The arm action hasn't changed much either. He's kept everything pretty much in the same slot, same motion.
That's why it's difficult to read that and really square up the baseball. There hasn't been many of these hits necessarily been squared up against them today by the Angels. They have 6 of them. He's done a nice job as far as mixing and matching, keeping everything down with good movement.
And Ivanetta shoots one out to the alley left center. Rosario to his left makes the catch for the third out. Squared up by Chris, but nothing to show for it. 4 in the books. It's a 2-0 Angels lead.
Angels baseball is brought to you by the Dodge Charger with an EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By AT&T Uverse, more live channels on the go than cable. And by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more.
Top of the 5th here at the Big A. Game 1 of a 3-game set against the visiting Minnesota Twins. The Angels with a 2-0 lead. Twins setting up Nunez, Hicks, and Suzuki here in the 5th. 7 punch-outs, 2 walks. So far for Shoemaker. Nunez a DH. Grounded out to David Freese in the 2nd. And that was the play in which a little collision there with Crone and Nunez. And Eduardo ruled out by both Kerwin Danley and Joe West. This ground ball toward the hole. That'll sneak through for the first hit of the night for Minnesota.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Here's Aaron Hicks, the center fielder. Struck out on the 2nd.
Throw to first, and Nunez back in there. 4 stolen bases on the year for Nunez. He's been caught 3 times.
Quick conversation with Joe West and Mike Scioscia.
Sure what that conversation was about. Hicks pulls one towards second. Backhanded by Giavotella. Feeds high ball, and the relay's in time with double play.
And that was done well by Giavotella, and a good feed, Derek Ibar, to get a very good runner going down the line to hit him with a 4-6-3 double play. Able to get him a quick feed, and allows Eric to clear away from Nunez, sliding in easy 4-6-3 double play. Well done by Giavotella on that hard hit ball by Aaron Hicks. And that conversation always going on between Eric Ibar and Giavotella.
Yep. Eric has had a number of conversations with him throughout the year about the feeds at second base. This was lifted out to right center. Cole is there, and it turns out to be a very quick inning for Matt Shoemaker. 4-pitch inning. That's a hamburger.
Yes, it is.
3 pitches steak dinner.
The Shoe-Coo-Ca-Choo.
We're going for a burger. 2-0 Angels.
Invade the Bronx. Baltimore trying to cut into that Yankees lead. End up losing 3-2. And Houston, you don't have a problem. Thinking maybe Boston, who flew out this morning, had enough rest to take on the Astros. Had a 3-1 lead, but Houston came back and won that game 8-3. 7 unanswered runs as the Astros beat the Red Sox.
Angels ending up 9-1 and 2 here in the 5th. It's Kyle Gibson, and you mentioned the Boston Red Sox. They are in the process of doing a sleep study. So after the game last night, most teams usually fly out on getaway and they go to the next town. But they ended up staying here and flew this morning to Houston. Basically got there about 1, 2 o'clock, went right to the ballpark. And they will fly from Houston on Friday up to Boston to start a series at Fenway Park Friday night.
Really?
The more you know.
Yes.
So we'll see what those results.
What have we often said about sleep?
It's overrated.
Yes.
Sleep when you're dead.
Yes. Plenty of sleep at that point.
Right. We haven't slept in 6 months. This is pulled past Plouffe. A leadoff single.
2 for 2 for Daniel Robertson today. It's all about playing that center field position. A lot of hits in that spot.
Third time in 5 innings. The Angels have had the leadoff man on board. Here's Johnny Giavotella.
Last time around, squared around on the first pitch.
Pops the bunt up. Gibson will make the catch. No play. Giavotella is the first out here. They'll get the bunt down.
Right fielder, number 56, Cole Calhoun.
Colo for 1, walked in the third. At that point, loaded the bases up with nobody out. Albert struck out. Ibar hit the sac fly to make it 2-0, but Giavotella thrown out. Actually caught a rundown between second and third to end the inning. Angels have run themselves, I should say, out of 2 innings. Second and a third.
Going back to my Hyundai key for this game. Emotional rescue so far. Matt Shoemaker has done his part. 5 very good innings. Just 1 hit allowed. Mixing and matching. There's a couple clutch singles. Iannetta with a big hit. And the sac fly, although not necessarily deep by Eric Ibar, but enough to get the job done. One of those games you hear a lot in the NBA, those trap games. That were a tough series, a 4-game series, including the doubleheader, day-night doubleheader yesterday. You're looking for some guys to come through in this game to give yourself a chance to win. Well, so far, Shoemaker has certainly been the big key for this lead early on for the Angels.
Cole fouls it off. 2 balls and a strike. A few times he got a fastball on a 2-0 count. Gibson's been pretty good with that changeup and off-speed stuff. Only walk that Gibson has allowed was to Calhoun in the third. Tied him up with that fastball up and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good lead for Robertson over at first. And got him. Breaking pitch down and in. 2 down. Strikeout number 6 now for Kyle Gibson.
Well, he certainly has thrown the ball exceptionally well himself. Talk about someone who squared up baseballs against him. That out last inning by Iannetta, probably the hardest hit baseball against him.
Season high in punch outs, 9 for Gibson. That was on June the 5th. Seven hits that Gibson's allowed tonight, the most he's given up since a May 30th start against the Blue Jays. With 8 hits now. Season high is 9, and that was just the second start of the year against Kansas City. Royals, by the way, finished off the Pirates 3-1. Kaufman. 2-0 count on Albert. Minnesota in the victory to remain 5.5 back. The Angels, with Houston winning, need a victory to keep their 2-game advantage in the West.
The 7th 2-0 count in the game for Gibson. He's got back in those counts with off-speed pitches often.
Challenge him with a fastball. Fouled straight back to Eduardo.
The location of his fastball has been great, though. Even though he's been behind in some counts. 2-0 count against a very good fastball hitter, one of the best of all time. Ran that one inside, enough on him.
Quick tag, and he got him. Kerwin Danley rings up Robertson. Mike Scioscia will likely keep everyone in check there until the Angels check it out.
That would be the 3rd pickoff of the year for Gibson. How quick that footwork was.
Now Fredo's walking off the field, so that's usually not a good sign. They are not going to look at it. Quick tag by Mauer, and the Angels are done here in the 5th. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning. It's a 2-0 Angels lead.
The changeup from Gibson, right back up the middle. RBI single, scoring Eric Ibar. Matt Shoemaker has been dominant. His split finger fastball, location of that pitch, the sink action's been working for him throughout. Fastball command good, slider's been solid too, but the split finger fastball has been his go-to pitch.
Top of the 6th inning, 2-0 Angels. Eduardo Escobar looks at a strike. So make that 3 outs on the bases for the Angels. Robertson getting picked off with Albert at the plate. I think they're just doing that because Torrey's back in town.
Yeah.
Torrey was somewhat known for being overly aggressive. So in honor of Torrey being back in town.
Yeah, you're already in scoring position when you walk into the ballpark when Albert comes to the plate.
Yeah, there's Torrey. Let's do a 3rd. Foul at the plate, 1-2.
Before that ball thrown by Shoemaker, he had thrown 15 straight strikes. Head of the count once again, 1-2. 66 pitches for Shoe, 44 strikes.
Escobar strikeout victim. Went down looking at a 3rd, so he's 0 for 1. 7 punch outs for Shoemaker, 2 walks. 1 hit, that was to Nunez leading off the 5th, a single to left field. It's time. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Muscled up on that all-speed pitch. Into the count 1-2 now. Behind 3-2.
Top of the order, Brian Dozier on deck. Time was called. Sure, wasn't Escobar. I think maybe Iannetta called time.
Certainly was late. Shoemaker was in his follow-through.
Three-two, Yank foul. Leadoff man on board. Third walk issued by Shoemaker to bring up Dozier. Hey fans, the Angels host the Texas Rangers beginning on Friday night at 7:05. And fans in attendance that night will receive a Hawaiian shirt courtesy of Total while supplies last. Purchase your tickets at the stadium box office or online. Tim Salmon will be happy.
Oh yeah,
number 15.
Tim's always happy.
Is he ever upset?
No.
Never.
Great guy.
And going into the Hall of Fame, the Angels Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Dean Chance, Mike Witt, Tim Salmon. Dozier 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. This is low. Should make it 72 pitches. Two and 0. Down ahead, too, of Escobar to start the inning.
Looking for that ground ball and an infielder to be able to get a double play out of it. A lot of room on that right side of the infield, though.
Got that double play in the fifth inning. It was off the bat of Hicks. Dozier looks at a strike.
About Dozier, he is a good high fastball hitter. That was a dangerous pitch. You're going to try that again. Try to sink something down if you're Shoemaker. Preferably down and away.
Evens up the count. A lot of pop in that bat too. 20 home runs this year. Career high 23 last year. No runs, a hit, 2 left on for the Twins, 2 runs, 7 hits, 3 men left on for the Angels. Time for the 6th inning, a 2-0 Angels lead. Torrey Hunter on deck. And that is foul tip and hung onto by Iannetta. Third time tonight Dozier's gone down, swinging one out.
That's the 85th strikeout of the season for Dozier. He's crushed the ball with 20 home runs, but a lot of swing and misses for him. Pulled off on that slider. Very good tight slider. Foul tipped it. Iannetta holds on.
Strikeout number 8 now for Shue. Here's Hunter. 0 for 2 with 2 fly ball outs. 1 to left and 1 to short. Torrey jumping on that first pitch fastball.
Something he does often. Complete opposite of the guy on deck, and Joe Mauer generally takes the first pitch.
No balls, one strike. Handles in the bottom of the sixth inning. Have Pujols, Sidebar, and Freeze coming up.
Not a bad pitch, upper part of the strike zone at 93. West does not give Shoemaker the call on that one.
Foul back. 1-2. Torrey always great to have around. Club bounces old school. Does not mess around.
No.
Got him swinging. Down goes Torrey. 2 outs.
And a good off-speed pitch. Starts at the knees, ends up in the dirt. It's all set up by Shoemaker's ability to throw his fastball at the knees throughout this game. So no fastballs upstairs, but a lot of good sliders and fastballs at the knees too.
He's racked up 9 strikeouts tonight for 5 2/3. He'll face Mauer. Escobar standing at first base still. Mauer 0 for 1. He walked in the first, struck out in the fourth. Shoemaker's career high, by the way, strikeouts is 10. Done that 3 times. Last time he did it was May 4th against Seattle. Took the loss against King Felix. The time prior to that, a year ago today. That was against the Orioles. Count even jump.
Well, 3 at-bats for Mauer. He's taking the first pitch each time. Something he does quite often.
One pitch fouled off. A 1 ball, 2 strike count. Shoemaker with 83 pitches thrown so far. 54 strikes. Checking in Escobar. Lead off walk to him.
Curious to see what this next pitch is going to be, because Iannetta was setting up in. A lot of times you'll do that as a catcher, just to make the hitter aware that maybe the pitch was coming inside, then go back out with a split finger fastball away.
just in case he's peeking back.
Exactly. He's going away now.
And that is line to center. Oh, right over the heart of the plate. Now with a single. First and second now with 2 outs. And Plouffe coming up.
And that high fastball. He jumped on it. A .355 career hitter against the Angels for Joe Mauer.
That is the bullpen foam. Steve Solis get some action going in that pen. Butcher out to pay a visit just to give Fernando Salas a little opportunity to get ready.
Yeah, for a doubleheader yesterday, the bullpen wasn't taxed a whole lot yesterday.
Santiago threw a lot of pitches, 114 to be exact in game 1, so he lasted one batter in the 6th inning. Moore went 2 innings. Ramos went 2. And then nightcap, Heaney went 7, got 2/3 of an inning, and Joe Smith finished things up with an inning in the 3rd.
He had his first save of the season for Joe Smith.
Plouffe, the third baseman, twice has hit a fly ball to right, the last one in foul territory. Danger zone down and in with Plouffe up. Outfield straight around. Escobar with good speed at second. Mauer at first. This is foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One thing Shoemaker has done a couple times in this inning is missed upstairs, and that's a dangerous spot. Big part of the game for both teams right now. For the Angels to get through this with no damage, for Shoemaker in good position. For the Twins trying to get right back in this game with Plouffe with his power. 12 home runs, 50 RBI on the season.
And it's not just tonight, it's been throughout the season where he's gotten in trouble. And his bread and butter tonight has been the off-speed stuff down in the zone. And we'll rack up those 9 strikeouts. Good location there.
Now you have him set up for your split finger fastball going down and away, or you can even go with your slider off the outside corner. Good adjustment by Shu on that one. Stayed on top of that one well. Perfect fastball at 93. See if he can finish off strong in this inning.
Now you've set up whether it's a split or the slider.
Yep.
That's a swing and a miss. Gets away from Iannetta. Throws to first. Strikeout complete.
Great split.
Matches a career high with his 10th strikeout. 2-0 Angels coming up. It's an all-new Gooby Tuesday. What's on your bucket list? Find out what some of the Angels coaches said. It's coming up next.
To go back to Italy, my hometown where my parents are from, my dad, in Gaeta, Italy, which is just north of Rome.
The Kentucky Derby. Someday I'd like to go have a mint julep and watch the race in person.
You're gonna wear one of those hats too?
I don't know about the hat. Yeah, I'll leave that for the wife.
Going to Italy.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are you going with, D-Sar? He said the same thing.
No, he didn't. See, he wants to copy. He probably wants me to take him.
I got to go with seeing Led Zeppelin. That's my number one on my bucket list.
Nice.
Got to. Love to see Led Zeppelin. Never seen them. As long as you go with me, of course.
No, man. No bucket list for me. That's a negative thought process, bro. 2-0 Angels.
You just put the stop sign out there.
The bottom of the sixth. Oh, he just Heisman'd you. Poole, sidebar, and freeze here in the bottom of the sixth inning.
It's a good thing I didn't ask you that question.
That's all we did with D-Sar. I thought he had some interesting answers aside from that one.
Yeah, there was a few other things in there. Yes.
Is that for the after the show?
He's got a few interesting answers for the other questions I asked him. But yeah, it was a long process.
Albert 0 for 2. Ground ball out and a strikeout. Takes inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Six strikeouts for Gibson. Albert grounds this one toward the hole. Nice play by the shortstop. Escobar fires to first. Mauer can't come up with it. Albert slips.
Just hope he's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
He's smiling. That's a good thing.
Hit that soft spot in the dirt. He's going to stretch out the leg a little bit. Make sure he's all right.
And he saw that baseball get by Mauer and thought about trying to go. Went straight down. And quickly back to the base.
Yeah. It's like Albert wears those the plastic spikes.
He's getting crushed all around.
Oh,
Torrey,
no doubt.
Torrey's killing him out in right field.
You know he is. That's what he was pointing into the stands. He's saying he got taken out by somebody up in the stands.
His little sniper got him.
Yeah. Here's Ibar. That's an infield base hit, by the way. Terrific play by Escobar. If Mauer comes up with it. Albert is out. Eric 1 for 1, singled and scored in the second and a sac fly in the third inning, picking up his 31st RBI. Pulled toward first. That is a foul ball. Ground ball back to the mound. Gibson fires it towards center. Safe at second. Ibar safe at first. You know, you're taught, right, Gilby? You throw it to the bag. And Gibson didn't see anybody there and tried to change things up.
And the thing is, when you field that ball, you turn around and sometimes you have to take that crow out before you throw it to the base. You see that right away. He fields it and launched it to the base right away. At that point, he kind of held up on his throw because he didn't know he was at the base at that point. How quickly he turned around and threw the baseball. You get that crow hop, get underneath your throw, and then you realize you could see, trying to shorten up on the throw, that nobody was there at that point. But that's why, when the man on first, you look back. Your shortstop, second base, who has the coverage with a ground ball back at me?
There's in the vicinity, and then there's that. That was
a good catch just to keep out from going.
Yeah, there was a couple
into the
blocks
outfield.
down there.
Oh, yeah.
Freeze. Swings and misses wildly. It's an 0-1 count. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Has not seen the ball well out of the hand of Gibson so far tonight. By the way, it's a fielder's choice on Ibar.
Well, the football camp's opening up pretty soon. That was a good play.
Yeah.
Escobar to catch that one over the middle of the field.
Albert at second, Ibar at first. Two pitches now for Gibson. Action in the Twins' pen. Chopper toward the middle. Escobar's not going to get it. He'll sneak through for a base hit. Albert being waved in. The throw is not in time. And contact made with Ibar and the second baseman. No, pardon me, Escobar, the shortstop.
He was trying to go to third.
Yeah, it impeded Ibar's ability to go to third base. So Rob Drake's going to get a visit by Mike Scioscia here. It's a 3-0 Angels lead. Freese picks up his 43rd RBI.
Another one of those hits they just barely got through the infield, but using the middle of the field. One of those plays too as a shortstop. Sometimes you just try to knock that one down also, but you can see that arm. My Hicks in center field. What a throw! Almost got him at home. And as he's going around, Eric Ibar, he's thinking to go to third, but he runs right into Escobar. It's one of those things, I don't think it's reviewable, but you can get a conversation with the other umpires in the infield at that point. Well, so far in this inning, you get a run scored, you have an infield hit. You have a play not made by the pitcher. You can see where he runs right into Escobar as Hicks is making the throw to the plate, a firm throw to the plate, and almost Albert out at the plate. Suzuki couldn't hold on to the baseball, but what a throw.
Oh, rips one to left field, a base hit. Ibar is going to be stopped at third. They're loaded up for Joyce.
Now that baseball was scalded. Boy, a 3-hit game for C.J. Cron. Aggressive in the count. Jumped on that pitch. And a rocket to left field. Paul Water may be making a change. Going to the bullpen.
Glenn Boyer was getting ready. That's going to be it for Kyle Gibson. Gives up a season-high 10 hits tonight. He will depart with nobody out. The bases loaded. The Angels leading at 3-0. Allowed. Struck out 6, walked 1. He's responsible for all 3 guys
on base. Ibar at third, Freeze at second, C.J. Cron at first as right-hander Blaine Boyer takes over. It's our in and out, who's in, who's out.
Boyer's fastball's 91-96. Good hard slider. Curveball and a changeup.
45th appearance for Boyer. He's 2-4 with a 2.66 ERA. Infield in for Minnesota. First one to Joyce is lifted in the air to center. Ibar back to the bag to tag. Aaron Hick getting behind it. He'll make the catch. The throw goes to third. It's a sac fly for Joyce, and it's a 4-0 Angels lead. Joyce picks up his 21st RBI this season.
He said coming into this game, you're going to have to do the little things to be able to score some runs, and that's exactly what the Angels have done so far. A couple sac flies, some well-placed baseballs through the infield, going the other way, up the middle. Now the 4th run of the game for the Halos.
So it's Freeze at second, Cron at first, and Ionette at the plate. 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a line out to left. Two balls, one strike. Boyer last year, San Diego Padres, which in 32 games. Georgia native, originally a Braves, 3rd round pick in 2000. That is driven out to deep left field. Going back is Rosario. He will watch this one fly. Big fly for Chris Ionetta. It's a 7-0 Angels lead.
Home run number 6 for Chris Ionetta, 23 RBI. What a swing by Ionetta. Talked about the other guys needing to step up. And now it's time for our top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. And what a swing by Ionetta. Fastball, inner half of the plate at 92-mile-an-hour fastball, and crushed out for the best play in baseball, the 3-run home run. And a big smile from Ionetta.
Robertson pulls one to left. Caught by the left fielder Rosario. 2 outs.
Boy, 2 hits today for Robertson. 2 hits, including that 3-run home run by Ionetta. 3 hits from C.J. Cron. There's balance throughout this lineup.
No Mike Trout. Lineup saying, we got you. Matt Shoemaker likes it. Looks like he may be done after 6 innings tonight. Top of the order, Johnny Giavitello, the 8th man to bat here, the 6th inning. 1 for 3.
Boy, if Johnny can get on base, it'll be another time for the Angels to bat around. Send 9 batters to the plate.
4th home run Boyer's allowed this year. 4 of those runs charged to Gibson. Missed it. 3 balls, no strikes. It matches a season high in runs allowed by Kyle Gibson. He set that original season high in Game 1 back on April 9th against the Tigers.
3 balls, 1 strike. And Trout not in the lineup today with a sore heel. Gianatello hooks one out to left. Rosario moving over. He'll put it away for the 3rd out. The Angels strike for 5. The capper, Chris Iannetta, for the 6th of the season.
And that fastball was crushed by Chris Iannetta.
Angels baseball is brought to you by USAA, proudly serving the needs of the military community for over 90 years. By Mercury Insurance, on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast, free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai, great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
7-0 Angels lead at top of the 7th inning. Fernando Salas takes over on the mound for Matt Shoemaker. Salas now pitching in his 40th game of the year. 1-1 record, a .437 ERA, 35 innings, 37 hits, 7 walks. He will be facing Rosario, Nunez, and Hicks for Minnesota here in the 7th.
37 punch-outs in 35 innings pitched. Important because of the fastball command and then that very good changeup for Fernando Salas.
Matt Shoemaker tonight, 6 innings, 2 hits, 10 strikeouts, matching a career high, 4th time that he's hit that 10 strikeout plateau. Walked 3 and no runs. Looking for his first win at home this year.
Has to feel real good about that performance. His split finger fastball was outstanding. Just a few mistakes upstairs, but for the most part, everything located perfectly for Shoemaker.
Rosario tonight 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts is in the hole here at 0 2. Foul ball back.
Pitches thrown by Shoe today, 58 of them strikes. What a performance by Matt Shoemaker.
Came out through strikes. 22 pitches in the 1st inning, settled down. Struck out the side in the 6th inning. After leadoff walk. Rosario lifts it high and deep to right. Cole drifting back to his left. 1 out. Fans, don't miss your chance to see the unveiling of the Mike Trout life-size bobblehead Friday when the Angels take on the Rangers at 7:05. For more info and to purchase your tickets, log on at angels.com/promotions.
Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, so you can look at that picture there, or a life-size bobblehead. Decisions.
It's tough. It's a tough call.
Really is.
He's glaring at you right now.
Yeah. Looking forward to the split screens on Friday night.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Can't wait to do the open from the bobblehead on Friday night.
It's no doubt about
Will
that.
it be a Hawaiian-themed bobblehead? The Hawaiian Week.
That's a shirt giveaway that night.
Yeah. So foul back above us. Oh, 2 count.
Speaking of good game faces going, Jack Morris right next to that pop-up was just above him. That is a good game face going.
Yeah. Still got it.
Yes, he does.
Jack doing double duty this year.
Yes, he is. I was giving him a little grief about that today. There's Jack.
Doing work with the Twins and the Tigers.
I said, hey, aren't you guys in the same division? I was, no, I'm with the Twins right now. Okay.
Detroit who?
Exactly.
Called strike 3. Joe West rings him up. 2 outs. Jack no longer eligible for the Hall of Fame. That was just short.
The fastball, 93. I'll tell you what, his performance in that World Series for the Twins. Against the Braves.
91.
10 innings. John Smoltz, the Hall of Famer himself, going in this Sunday. Pitched great for the Braves, but Jack Morris was unbelievable.
That's right, Hall of Fame weekend, huh? You ever been up there for the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
For the ceremony and stuff?
We had a game up there.
Did you?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Really cool.
Yeah, it was. That place is phenomenal. I love it there.
Unassuming.
Yes.
I went up there when I was at MLB Network and I had a chance to host the show. I'd never been there before. They said, oh, it's just like this field and there's a stage and go get them.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it's just a field. There's a big stage. The ballpark's really cool there.
If you're a baseball fan, you have to visit that. Now, that could be on some baseball fans' bucket list.
Yeah. Cool little town.
Definitely feels like time has stood still in that place. It's so incredible.
It stands still in the wintertime, I guarantee you that. It's cold. Mucho frio.
The speech has been pretty good, too. There's a lot of stress in that speech.
Yeah.
We were even joking with John Smoltz when we saw him in New York if he's already preparing. He started laughing. He goes, no, I'm already nervous.
Because, I mean, you're looking out to that crowd, right? Adoring fans. But it's the guys that are behind you.
Yes. They want to crush you. Because that night before, when those guys get together, oh, the stories.
Swing and a miss, a 1-2-3 inning for Fernando Salas. Stretch time here at the Big A. It's a 7-0 Angels lead. It's Pelfrey against Wilson, and then on the Thursday afternoon, remember it's a 12:35 first pitch. It's the Magic Man, the young Irvin Santana.
The young Irvin Santana
against Garrett Richards.
With a no-hitter wearing that Angel uniform.
Yeah.
Going against Garrett Richards, who threw a 2-hit shutout his last game out.
Ryan O'Rourke takes over on the mound here for Minnesota as we start the bottom of the 7th inning. The Angels up 7-0. O'Rourke has pitched in 4 major league games this year. 3 1/3 innings, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Twins 13th round pick in 2010 out of Merrimack College. 27-year-old. Cole Calhoun looks at the strike.
O'Rourke's fastball, 88 to 92. There was a slider, a lot of sliders. So far this year, over 57% of his pitches are sliders. He's got a curveball and a changeup.
Almost a Michael Roth type of delivery. Kind of looks like Roth.
Yes, it is.
1 ball, 2 strikes. O'Rourke's pitched at both AA and AAA. There's just 2 games at AA, 20 games at AAA. No record of 5.93 ERA. Takes over for Blaine Boyer. Went 1 inning, gave up a run on 1 hit, and that was the Chris Iannetta home run. Bouncer, first base side. 1 out. Cole 0 for 3 with the walk. Brings up Albert. Albert tonight 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. Shoots it foul.
Climbed ladder with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Especially after seeing a lot of all-speed pitches.
They made Albert move his feet. It's 1-2. Jose Alvarez getting ready for the 8th inning. Job by Salas in his 1 inning of relief. Couple of strikeouts. This is line and off the glove of a diving Dozier. Escobar picks it up and Albert gets the base hit.
And what an unbelievable effort by Dozier. See how far he's got to go to try to catch this line drive. Full extension on the dive, but this off the glove. Great Ed Escobar with his arm made it a close play.
Grant Green comes in a pinch run for Albert. Two-hit game for Pujols, 2 for 4. 1 out and a man on. Eric Ibarra. Albert was asking Socia why a pinch runner. Eric chases the high fastball.
Albert never wants to come out of any game. Nor does he not want to be put in the lineup either.
Not happy when he DHs.
No. It's a great example for the younger players when you watch that. From a superstar like Albert Pujols.
Oh, 2 count at Ibar. Eric, 1 for 2 game. Hit that bouncer back to the mound, changed that 6th inning. It could have been a double play. If it is, it's 2 outs, nobody on. Instead, the throw was wild to second, and it put 2 men on with nobody out and opened up the frame. Rosario's there. 2 outs. Hey, stay tuned later tonight on the Angels Live post-game show for the business of sports, brought to you by AutoNation.com and powered by AutoNation Honda Valencia. So 2 outs. Here's David Freese, picked up an RBI single in the 6th. Mentioned when we started, the Twins have struggled down the road this year, 19-26 away from target field. They won the opening game for the second half against Oakland and dropped the last 2 of that series at the off day yesterday. They're trailing here 7-0 in the 7th.
Malter's done a very good job with this club. A lot of people thought they would be in contention. They were still building with some of their good young players they have. All the conversation was, the Royals, the Tigers, the Indians were supposed to be a lot better, and the White Sox with the moves they made in the offseason. The Twins still a year or 2 away from contending. Yet they're in second place right now as a wild card team.
Freese fouls it off, 2-2. Kansas City won tonight. They defeated Pittsburgh 3-1. Houston won. They beat Boston. Texas shut out Colorado. Seattle over Detroit in a slugfest 11-9. The team to lose, or is losing in the West right now, is Oakland 7-1 to the Blue Jays in the 9th. Freese gets into 1 to center. Hicks moving back on it, and on the track will make the catch. Gave it a ride, but it falls just short. 7 complete. The Angels leading at 7-0.
Seven to nothing. I'm Patrick O'Neill.
Angels fans, get down here. Halos trying to hang on for their 6th consecutive victory. We'll be here after the game to talk about it. You got Tim Sam at Kingfish here, as well as Jose Mota and Alex Curry. And certainly have to talk about Mike Trout not playing today. If the Angels are able to hang on, everybody's stepping up. I was in the clubhouse before the game when Mike Trout was telling the media it's a sore heel, expects to play again tomorrow. His teammates were watching TV when the national network came on the air and said, breaking news, Trout's not playing, sore heel. One of his teammates was like, breaking news, he's not a machine. The reaction from the teammates was it shouldn't be a big deal. He goes out and plays hard every day, should be allowed to sit a game for a sore heel or even some rest. So that's how much respect he has from his teammates, and they showed up to play tonight. Victor and Mark, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Patrick. He DH'd in Game 2 last night. And then
he's smiling
today, yeah. He's happy to see his ball club up 7-0 as we start the 8th. Jose Alvarez takes over on the mound for Salas. Alvarez will face 8-9-1. 31st game of the year for Alvarez. 2-1 record at 3.53 ERA. 33 strikeouts and 13 walks in 35 plus innings. It's Kurt Suzuki, Eduardo Escobar, and then Brian Dozier. Suzuki lofts one out to shallow right. And down.
Well, what a job the starting pitching has done in the 6-game stretch of this lead holds. 6-game win streak. It's phenomenal numbers. 3 earned runs in 42 innings pitched. It's an ERA of 0.64. C.J. Wilson on the mound tomorrow night trying to keep it going. Hector with 10 punch outs yesterday in Game 1.
0-1 count on Escobar. They go back to June 24th. The Angels starting pitchers lead the majors in ERA at 1.95. It's June 24th. That has, of course, gone down because of tonight. 6 shutout innings for Shoemaker.
And on the heels of all this good news, too, as far as the pitching, Jared Weaver threw a simulated game through 60 pitches. Getting closer and closer. We'll have a bullpen or 2 before a decision's made if he's going to either be in the rotation right away or have to go out and potentially throw a rehab assignment. And definitely a solid performance for him.
Out to right center field. Robertson racing back to his left will make the catch for round number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Jose Alvarez. And leadoff man Brian Dozier coming up. Dozier fouls it back.
Look at those Hawaiian hats tonight.
That luau's on Friday, right?
Yes.
Pre-game luau. Be great if we just had a luau the entire game in our booth. Freeze will play this one foul territory.
And that be any different?
I know, right? Roasty little pig in the back there. Not you, Norm. An actual pig. Oh, 2 count on Dozier. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
Well, Shoemaker threw some nasty pitches to Dozier throughout the entire game. Great split finger fastballs.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Houston beating Boston today. The Angels getting a win to keep their 2-game advantage in the West. 12 hits tonight for the Angels, just 2 for Minnesota. 2 singles, Nunez and Mauer. Bouncing back toward the mound. A 1-2-3 inning for Alvarez. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. All Angels tonight. Fan photo to hashtag DataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming game broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Start the bottom of the 8th. It's a 7-0 Angels lead. O'Rourke out for his 2nd inning of work. There's Crone, Joyce, and Iannetta. C.J. Crone with 3 singles tonight. Also scored a run. Oh, 2 count. C.J. Wilson on the hill tomorrow night. Mike Pelford on the mound. This is shot to right. A 2-strike approach, and it's a 4-hit game for Crone.
Talk about using the entire field tonight for C.J. Crone. He certainly has done that. .92-mile-an-hour fastball. Tried to sink it going away. Just punched it right down the right field line. The 3rd career 4-hit game for C.J. Crone.
Joyce 0 for 2 with 2 punch outs and a sac fly. Oh, 2. Joyce picked up a sac fly, 21st RBI. Goes down swinging here. The first out of the 8th.
Big shot of the game. Chris Iannetta, who's coming up now, that 3-run home run back in the 6th inning.
Two-hit game, 4 runs batted in. Nobody warming for the Angels. It looks like Alvarez will go the ninth. 2, 3, and 4 due up for Minnesota. Three and 1. This one foul back. Now went into the Spanish TV side.
I don't think the play was made this time.
No. I don't think so. Three-two. Upstead, watch out. That was up and in, almost got him. Walk. We'll put 2 on with 1 out.
Looking out over the plate maybe for an all-speed pitch, and all of a sudden the fastball, a little cut fastball up and in at 91.
Robertson with a 2-hit game. A couple of singles and a fly ball to left. Pops it up on the first base side. Mauer into foul territory. 2 outs.
Second baseman, number 12,
Top of the order now, Johnny Giavatello. Looking for their 53rd win of the year. Johnny pulls one foul. Just looking for their 6th consecutive win. Been a good month of July so far. Angels 11-3 this month. This run that they've been on started with that last homestand. 6-3 homestand, carried over the road trip prior to the All-Star break. A good start to this homestand here in the second half.
Some great pitch games in that last homestand, and then the offense took off on that road trip, and now both parts coming together here in this homestand so far to start off the second half.
0-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. We will head to the ninth. The Angels with a 7-0 lead. Halos on top 7-0 as we start the ninth. Tomorrow, game 2. Angels Live will kick things off at 6:30. Mike Pelfrey against C.J. Wilson. First pitch, 7:05 right here on Fox Sports West. Torrey Hunter, Joe Mauer, Trevor Plouffe, 2, 3, and 4 for Minnesota here against Jose Alvarez, who had himself a 1-2-3-8. Torrey tonight 0 for 3. 2 fly ball outs to the strikeout. Evens up the count. Jam, fouled back. Joe Mauer fan comes up with the baseball behind home plate.
Home jersey one.
I like it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Matt Shoemaker in line for his 5th win of the year. His first here at home this year. 6 innings, 2 hits, 10 strikeouts, matching a career high. 3 walks. Swing and a miss. Down goes Torrey for the first out here in the ninth.
Good high fastball. Alvarez, a lot of punch outs in this game once again for Halo pitchers.
Yeah, 13th strikeout for Angels pitchers today.
What was it, 14 in game 2? Or game 1? Yes, game one.
That was a season high, matching a season high. Now a walk, a strikeout, and a single. One ball, 1 strike. 2 hits allowed by Angels pitching tonight. That is it.
Amazing what the staff has done over this good stretch of baseball for the Halos.
2-1. Halos looking for their 30th win at home this year. 29-18 prior to this one. 3 balls and a strike. Good crowd tonight. We measured 38,937 on Hawaiian Cap Night. Kicking off Hawaiian week. Ground ball second. 2 down. Trevor Plouffe 0 for 3. Couple of fly balls to right and a strikeout. Shoots one to right field. Cole is there. Light that baby up as the Angels shut out the Twins tonight by the final of 7-0.
What a well-balanced lineup once again for the Halos. Chris Iannetta with that 3-run home run, 2-hit performance, 4 RBI. CJ Cron, 4 hits on the game. David Freese, an RBI single. And Matt Shoemaker picks up his first home victory of the season. The Shuku Kachu. We finally can say that here at the Big A for Matt Shoemaker.
Got to feel good about that. Chris Iannetta with a 3-run blast. It was a tight game early on because Kyle Gibson was throwing the ball well. But the Angels opened it up with a big inning, the 5-run 6th.
And so just some good swings using the middle of the field quite often. Going the other way. Relaxed approach and a solid job after a very tough series, especially winning a doubleheader yesterday, day-night doubleheader, to come back and play this well. Impressive for the Halos.
No Trout, no problem. 13 hits, 7 runs. The Angels have won the first 5 games of this homestand. We'll take on the Twins in Game 2 tomorrow night. The Angels maintain a 2-game lead in the American League West, with Houston having won earlier tonight. Tonight, the final 7-0. Good performance by C.J. Cron as well, matching a career high in hits in a game with 4. But Chris Iannetta, a big 4 RBI performance with that home run. He has joined Alex Curry down on the field. Alex.
Thank you, Victor. Chris, this team is at a season best 13 games over 500 right now. What's clicking for this club?
Pitching staff's been great. We've been scoring runs, and we've playing pretty good defense, so that's all that matters. The pitching staff's been great the whole year, and now the offense is starting to come around.
Speaking of the pitching staff, they have been on fire this homestand. Matt Shoemaker adding to that with a career-high 10 strikeouts. What was he doing well on the mound?
He was commanding the fastball. His split was great tonight, and he was able to mix in the slider and curveball.
And you finally found your groove, really turning things around this season. What's been the biggest adjustment for you at the plate?
April ended. I don't really know. It's just timing's been a lot better, seeing the ball a lot better. It's been great.
Well, congratulations on a great win and that 3-run home run.
Thank you.
The Angels keep the streak alive here at the Big A, taking Game 1 against the Twins and Matt Shoemaker's first home win of the season. But stick around for Angels Live next with Patrick O'Neill, Tim Salmon, and Jose Mota.